to money to spare, not a lot is available. But that said, with the president's position, some have disagreed. Many others have said, well, this is the president has always been making promises upon promises, but at the end of the day, we've not really seen something tangible, which is going to bring me to highlight some of the things that the administration has done with regards to resuscitating the economy, because it described the economy as in tattered state. So this is it. So since he came into office in May 2023, several key economic policies that he has implemented. I'll just take about 5 of them and then we'll quickly get your thoughts. The very first one was on the day of his during his inaugural speech, where he says the removal of subsidy after his swearing in. The removal of subsidy is gone. And you know that one? That's the very famous one. And this one was immediate, and many saw it as significant and felt like it should be seen as the president means business, because, I mean, during the campaigns, all the candidates from all the political parties had been very vocal about this. But it's so painful because it was under Goodluck Jonathan that this talk about subsidy removal was intense. And most of these individuals that now support removal of it at that time tackled the man. And many have said if we had agreed that time and removed it, we might not be feeling what we felt in the past couple of years. Unfortunately, we'll find a way to blame ourselves and make it all about politics. That's what it is. Anyway, so President Tinubu's inaugural address had said subsidy is gone, and this move was aimed at freeing up, substantial government revenue that had been spent on subsidizing petrol. But these funds then will be redirected to other sectors like infrastructure, education, and healthcare. And now some have questioned whether indeed we really have seen, the monies go into those areas. There's a lot about the road that was just commissioned, the coastal highway. There's a lot about it, because I was reading about it and figured that it was just, even the parts that said that was done, there were videos online that people had to go to the site and then show that they just commissioned what was not completed. You can't really use the stretch of it in the manner in which it was explained. Perhaps another time, but if you go research on it, I was looking up some videos, and then you find people who had gone to visit the site and try to use the road, and they had the issues. So people question some of these things. In the health sector, a lot of people also complaining. We saw Dangote the other day talking about why we shouldn't encourage health tourism. Both politicians, the wealthy, everybody should get medical attention here in the country. There's also that concern. So people are saying, where is the money for subsidy going? Except for the fact that there are many that argue that the allocation to states have increased because of subsidy. But then if you also look at that, critically, the allocation to the governors have not really increased, because the economy and the worth of the money is not what it used to be 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So because of the inflation, yes, the amount, when you look at it, is big, but because of the inflation, it's not doing anything. It's just like the next economic policy I would go to, which is the minimum wage. Oh yes, the implementation of the minimum wage. So look at the increase in minimum wage, and the way you understand it, use the same principle and apply to the allocation that goes to the various states. Right? It's just the same thing. So the minimum wage goes up, but inflation is high. So the thing that you used to buy for 5 naira, which ordinarily you should have been excited if it remains at 5 naira because your wage went up. But that's not the case. Now you're not happy. The wage went up, yes, but the thing you used to buy for 5 naira is now 25 naira. So you're still losing, even though the numbers on paper says, things are going up. Which is where I think there's a huge problem, because most time in government, it looks as though our leaders rule the country based on papers and figures that they see on papers. It's not because they really go to the market or go to the ordinary Nigeria. It was why some days ago I said, Vice President went to Niger State. And if you look at it, that's the development you should look at and know whether you are working or not the one on paper that says that the numbers went up, the numbers went down, because there are a lot of things you can do for the numbers to go up and down, but the reality on the ground is what people judge with. So yes, the minimum wage, another very important economic policy that the government looked at. But, well, how did that play out? Did it do anything in the economy? Did it encourage spending? It didn't look like it did. If you look at it now, it did not encourage people to part ways with their money. I mean, everybody is trying to hold back as much as they can because they have concerns. There is also the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, that's the NEL Fund, which also came into serious scrutiny recently with a lot of issues around it, around accountability. So that was something that was also introduced to cushion the impact of economic reforms and ensure access to education. This was launched by the government and provides interest-free loans for Nigerian students in tertiary institutions. For so many, that's almost a waste of money. Then don't also forget, this one is very interesting, the social intervention programs, which many described as waste of funds. Poor Nigerians that will be receiving stipends and so on and so forth. I mean, we all are aware in this country we have a problem with data. So how do you even get this data right? How does that solve the problem? If you give a person a bag of rice now, what are they going to, which was a very big thing for this administration, giving out bags of rice. It was the mainstay, all right? Not because it is completely worthless, but is it the solution to the problem? Does it solve this problem significantly? That's the question a lot of people asked when that came out. So it's among one of the few things that the government had done. There was also the Electricity Act amendment that was signed into law and subsequently became, it was first signed into law, the Electricity Act 2023, subsequently Electricity Amendment Act 2024. This decentralized the power sector, allowing states, companies, individuals to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. And that, if you listen to the news, you must have heard the president commissioning the plant in Rivers State here. For those of us who missed it, the 180 megawatt AFAM 2 power plant in Rivers State. He commissioned that facility virtually during the week. So that's you say as a result of this Electricity Act Amendment Bill, giving states the power to say, let's work in Bayelsa State. You see the governor saying he is giving them a matching order to ensure that by the end of this year, Bayelsa State can boast of 24-hour power supply. I am waiting for that one. I'm so waiting. Some people are waiting for good reasons. Others are waiting to see how it will not work. So they would say it did not work. But we're waiting to see how the government will pull it off. If they do, fantastic. In Abia State, we also saw the plant in Aba and what that is doing for them. Yes, it's not 100% effective as many would want, but it's a step in the right direction. There was also another thing. I think there's one more thing that I need to put out. Unification of exchange rates, the floating of the naira. Yes, this was another thing that the CBN under the President Tinubu administration has done, moved to unify the multiple exchange rates in the country and make it a single one, market-determined rate. So the market is responsible for how the rates come out. This policy actually was aimed at eliminating the arbitrage opportunities and improve transparency in the forex markets, also to help attract foreign investment. But so when you look at some of these policies so far, does it give you hope that the economy would improve? Does it give you hope that when the president says there's going to be a rebound? Does it? Because when you look at these policies and then you now go to the ordinary Nigerian in Niger State or in Benue State or here in River State, in the village, or Bayelsa State, or in Lagos, even in Lagos, where, I mean, a lot of people say it's a land of opportunities in Nigeria. You look at all of these areas, or you go to Osun State, would the ordinary person say things are easy for them, that they've seen improvement? This is 2 years now. Would they say they have seen? And some of these policies were put in place from the get-go. How far have they fared when you look at the situation that we're in? We had the electricity tariff. We had some other tariff on imports of certain goods, and so on and so forth. Well, after the commercial, we're going to find out from you. How hopeful are you? Do you see signs? Are you hopeful that in this administration there will be a rebound in the economy? Let's find out.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll
Morning. Let's continue with the conversation. My name is Ifeyemi Andrew. Before the break, I'd highlighted some of the policies and steps that this administration is taking to help turn the economy around. And if you ask, they would say, those in the cabinet of the government, that they are doing quite well. But then on the other hand, what do the people think? That's the big question. Remember the popular one that came from Pastor Tunde Bakari. It was met with, for the first time, I was shocked with the response we got from some of the immediate aides of the president, who acknowledged that, yes, he raised some very valid points, but then those things are being worked on. But so far, how hopeful are you? The president is saying, be patient, be hopeful, things will turn, making these promises. But the policies on the ground and the promises that are being made in the past 2 years, can you say, okay? I mean, look at this security, education, health, infrastructure, name it. Can you say, okay? Fighting corruption. I mean, it was shocked to hear lawmakers talking about Tucano jets. Where are those? What's happening with it? The soldiers who are fighting insurgency, are they well taken care of? What's happening there? 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. So you can call us on any of those numbers to get through to us and share your thoughts, okay? Let's take some of the messages. Someone says, please tell the president and his cabinet members to do something about insecurity and hunger in the land. That's on Facebook. On Facebook, it's at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. On WhatsApp, the number is 0809-030-6416. That's the WhatsApp number, 0809-030-6416. This one says, Andrew Tinubu has failed in all angles. Do you know that so many Muslims couldn't kill a full ram unlike they used to? I've never seen that before. Or who knows how a Christmas celebration will be like? For the sole administrator, please, he should return to his state. I don't think he has reverse people at heart. This is from TF Okechi. I've never seen a patient country like Nigeria. What we keep on hearing from our leader is be patient and be hopeful. God help them to change their bad attitude. Thank God, ability to take bullets from you. This one says, good morning. Petrol subsidy removal, exchange rate unification, high inflation and cost of living, increased electricity tariffs, suppression of freedom of speech, controversial budget allocation, foreign investment challenges, security concerns, ineffective CNG initiative. The CNG initiative, it was something, I think I said that some weeks ago. And another thing is to get the government officials to respond to these things and talk about it. It's also quite difficult, but we'll keep trying to get people in public office to address these issues. We know that it was something that the government was big on, and it was supposed to help subsidize the cost of transportation. And some CNG buses were provided and were supposed to, help move people around the various parts of the country. They had to even install the conversion centers. I don't know if the one in Rivers State is still working. If it were, I know that there was one somewhere. Where was it, in LMA, or I can't remember where. But then, how effective is it? The free buses that was given, CNG buses, I think was given to Labour. I don't know if they're still effective or they started running. The last time I checked, they weren't on the road for certain bureaucratic reasons that were still being sorted out. Okay. This person then says, deterioration of regional influence. We are still patient and waiting for better days to come. The question is, will it ever come? 2 years don't waka. And we're already preparing for elections, even in these 2 years. Usually it used to be the third year. So if we already started talking election campaigns and strategies now, it means by the next year, it's going to be fully into preparations for the elections in 2027. So what time would these policies then have to turn things around? Okay, I would leave it there. So since our leaders have continued to be unyielded to change the realities and struggles of the hike in virtually everything and its effect on her citizens, they cannot claim to see themselves as servants to the people that continue to grow. I'll go back to the question that was asked by what's his name? Former CBN governor. It was Erufai, I think it was Erufai. It was Erufai who said, the people we have now, the politicians we have, the political class, are they here to lead Nigerians? Are they happy to lead Nigerians? Or are they happy to rule over Nigerians? It's a big question. That's a very big question. Tinubu will ask for another 4 years to complete what he has started. Thank God, ability at Twigbo. If there's anything with politicians, there's never time. They always need time. There's never time. Gift from Yenegua. Good morning. Let's hear you. Oh my goodness, what's the call from Gift? Emeka Inelele, good morning.
Yes, my dear brother, good morning.
Good morning, Emeka. Please, you have to be speak louder.
Yes, the APC-led federal government, Emeka, we scored them 0/100. You could have asked me why. Because they came on 2023, made it in a remove subsidy. That the 40 months they will install they will install element everything. They will go to Warri refinery. They will install all of them. Up to now, they came and do us Yahoo. What is happening in northern part of Nigeria? They are killing people every day by day, hundreds of people. Nothing. So they are not relevant in this dispensation. He should, honorable, resign. I told you in the morning hour. He should resign. He lacks idea to rule Nigeria. Thank you and God bless you.
Let's Barry from Bori. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yep, go on.
Yeah, let me look at insecurity and somehow hunger. First, the issue of insecurity. We have forgotten that government alone cannot just provide where they don't have viable information from our own ends. You see that in our communities, we know those who are responsible for insecurity, perpetrating evil, cultism and all that. But okay, if government come and say, okay, they want to fight this insecurity, who is probably competent to say, okay, I know those who are responsible for this act. Let us name them and show the root of
Later, Barry, how many can you give us instances of cases where you have reported crime that you suspect or seen to the police, and how was it handled?
A lot. Let me take a little bit instance from the Fulani herdsmen who are.
Unfortunately, sorry, I think you'd have to correct that. I think it's unfair to say Fulani herdsmen. Not only Fulanis are herdsmen. Yes, we have majority of them herdsmen, or a lot of them in that trade.
That is one of the major parts confronting our people.
No. My problem, the problem with what you said is you said Fulani herdsmen. Later, Barry, would you allow us to have a conversation, please? All right, let me help educate you on this so you understand it. You said Fulani herdsmen, emphasis on Fulani, and that's where there's a problem. All right, the reason is because not only Fulanis are herdsmen, number one, and number two, you can't facially identify a person to say they are Fulanis. So it's better you say herdsmen.
Okay. If that is to correct that, yes, I say herdsmen. So that has been the problem with insecurity and hunger, not only in Niger Delta, all over this country. Because if you cannot be able to secure your food produce from the farm, how will you be able to cap the problem of hunger? And how is your life secured when these are not actually? Okay, look at the security problem we are having in the Borno aspect or other areas. It is the security agencies that are responsible for giving information to This was said on national radio and TV. It is those security.
So what is the president doing about it? Why isn't the president firing, sacking, replacing somebody?
How can we be able to cut this? This is where we need to key in our ideas and see how we can be able to stop some of these loopholes.
All right, Leighton Barry, thank you. Obed from Ada George, over to you now. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Andrew, if you say there is indeed hope on the current administration, I think you might not be, you are being economic with the truth. I take you to the current budget saga right now. Andrew, I read through those budgets that was made, 25 budgets. Andrew, you will understand that this leader does not have the interest of Nigerians at heart. Look at where about 6 trillion was inserted in that budget, and we heard what I read. It's not even what I heard. What I read is that Nigeria is to spend on one street light 256 million naira. Andrew, in a country that people are trying to survive. So if you tell me that all the economic reform is going to work, how is it going to work? You understand? How? Not only that, other frivolous, projects have been started in this very project. I'm seeing some Royal Highness. In fact, the whole essence of 2025 budget of Tinubu is for him to organize an election for 2027. You understand? Settling some people for that election. That's what I saw in that project. So how will you tell me that such reform is going to work? It's not going to work. You understand? We are seeing frivolous spending on the current administration. We are told that removal of subsidy is a bold step. Now, if you look at the current spending, now, how will you tell me, you understand, that subsidy has been removed? What is the effect? The current 30-kilometer road that we heard was commissioned. There is a media that's going trending right now that road is not a 30-kilometer road. So look at all these indices, Andrew. Can you tell me within yourself? Doctor, I'm trying to back the question to you. Can you tell me that indeed Nigeria is going to get better on the current administration?
All right, let's go to Patrick from Echia and see what he has to say about it. Patrick, good morning.
Yes, Andrew, good morning.
Yeah.
I'm at the Patrick calling from Echia.
Okay.
I know government cannot do everything for us. And the government cannot even take care of everything. It's left for us also to start from somewhere. But it will be when government has empowered us. Now we are talking about hungry on the land. Look at Nigeria here where I come from that manage agriculture. What we expect is government to empower people that do agriculture for them to produce more so that they will be not hungry again in the country. Now in the local government where I come from, when we are talking about security, look at in my community. Yesterday, my parents was telling me on how the cow herdsmen have destroyed all their farmland. Every crop is being destroyed. And this complaint has been given to government for security reasons. And government is not even paying attention on it. We talk about security. When we are reported something that is very, very crucial and important, and government is dormant, how will security secure in that area? Help now destroy all the agriculture in Nigeria. How would Nigeria people be hungry? Please, one thing that will help us is if government will call attention of this herdsmen in Nigeria. As I'm talking to you now, there are Afra community. All the cows have been assembled in Afra community. My parents are calling me now how the farm are destroying their farm. When we are talking about hungry, the little one will have, they should allow them to maintain it so that the country will not be hungry any longer.
All right, Patrick, thank you. Temple, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished.
Good morning, Temple. Let's hear you now. Good morning.
Looking at this question, if we are being hopeful regarding better days of this President Tinubu's administration, the former President Buhari told us that he was leading Nigerians into prosperity. I don't know where we are today, if he has led us well or not. And Mr. President Tinubu, when he came on board, he asked us to give him time. This is 2 years down the line, and he's still begging. But at the same time, some days ago, he also told us the same thing the former president told us, that he is leading us into prosperity. But at the same time, that same president is shooting himself on the foot. Like we always say, government cannot do everything for us. But I am eager to see that one thing government is supposed to do for the people that they are doing perfectly. The very distinguishing Femi Andrew. Yes, when we talk about insecurity, all hands must be on deck. But we cannot negate that fact that there are those saddled with that responsibility in ensuring that we have that enabling environment as far as insecurity is concerned. When we talk about the issue of headers, when we talk about the issue of herdsmen, some of us have at least tried in our little way in order to draw the attentions of the security agents. We put up petitions, we have given facts, we have given some kind of evidences, but at the end of the day, you boil down to the commissioner's office, you boil down to the DP's office, you boil down to the area commander's office. The only thing they will tell you is that their hands are tied. I always ask this question, who tied their hands? And Mr. President, why is it that up till now, his government, after 2 years, we cannot begin to fight the impact of that good policies? The small impact, must we wait till 4 years or the next 8 years to end?
All right, Temple, thank you. Wilcox, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah, welcome, Wilcox. Go on.
Thank you. My concern regarding our president asking us to be hopeful and be patient with him. You remember that when this APC come on board, he was one of those people who do their coalition with President Muhammadu Buhari in that their first APC. And throughout that period, all we are having is like a sermon from the pulpit. Tinubu was always telling us, be patient, be patient, be patient until the 8th year. It is time they will now change the name of Nigeria to be patient because we have exhausted our patience. Now, to this Tinubu's era, this is 2 years down the line. There is nothing to show for. The economic policy that he says he's doing every day, there is no impact. You can only see the thing on the pages of newspaper. You can only see Rina Mokri on the pages of Facebook telling us what Tinubu is doing and what of not. And the thing is not affecting the people. Go back to the coastal road that was just commissioned. When President Jonathan was the president of this country, if they want to commission a road, I used to see that the president will go to that place, go to the road that have been realized or constructed, and then they will commission. But they will gather in a hotel, gather in a place, and do a visual commissioning. Who are they playing? Who are they playing? We are seeing, even if we can talk, even if we are talking and they are not doing anything, people are seeing. You gather somewhere and say you're commissioning a road that is less than 10 kilometers. And I saw a headline this morning that President Tinubu is telling the woman, the Minister of Works not to mind the people. When we are complaining that the road is less than 30 kilometers as speculated. What exactly do these people are taking us for? Every day they are trying to coerce the opposition party into their fold. They will give appointment to one opposition party, give appointment to the other people, just to ensure that they bring all those who would have confronted them in 2027 elections into one party, so that the other people will not have what to say. Where are we going from here? It is high time that these people wake up to their responsibility. As Nigerians, we are tired and happy of this administration, tired and sad of this administration. We can no longer continue with this people. It's better high time that Tinubu wake up.
All right, Wilcox.
They have ganged up together to fight the less privileged and the poor Nigerians. And we cannot take this anymore.
All right, Wilcox, thank you very much for your contribution. This person here says, I mentioned that people are hungry, and the FCT minister said it is not true. I'm happy that Muslim brothers have indicated Amechi today from Clever Sonny. Ifeanyi Chukwu says, Andrew, I've been hearing this, be patient since I was small. If not that I built myself, my dear, I would have still be believing in these politicians. All right, that's the much we can take. Again, happy Salah celebrations. Enjoy the holiday. Hello, Port Harcourt with Jude comes in next immediately after the news at 9. For now, a short commercial. Good morning.